Brown had 24 points through 3 quarters. But Tatum's best play on the floor didn't involve him scoring. Lakers turn it over. Tatum saves it, throws a behind-the-back pass while going out of bounds to Robert Williams. What a play from Tatum. Doing it all. We had to break out the ESPN Axis to check out the flight of Tatum's pass. It was right on the money. So if the Patriots thinking quarterback, maybe. Celtics up 78-71 after 3. Early fourth. Marcus Smart goes up for the contest of Montrezl Harrell and comes up holding his left leg. Smart with a calf strain, according to the Celtics right now, who have an MRI on that calf on Sunday. Important part of what they do in Boston, so they have to hope he's not out too long. Davis, 27 points, 14 rebounds, 85 apiece. Next possession for the Lakers, LeBron James. Lakers on a 5-0 run. They're up 88-85. James, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Next possession for the Lakers, James jab steps Daniel Tice multiple times until finally, take that with you. Lakers on an 8-0 run to take control of the game. It's 91-85. Celtics don't back down, though. Tatum, 30 points, 9 rebounds. Celtics make it a 1-point game. 14 seconds to play. Davis, stripped by Walker. Brown gets it up ahead. Walker ends up with the ball at the top of the key. He's going to take the shot, no good. He was 1 for 12 in this game, and that wasn't the one. Celtics had a timeout. They didn't use it. They were scrambling here in the final seconds, trying to get a shot. Tatum, meanwhile, not down the court. And you see Walker. Brown had worked his way open, but just didn't work out. Lakers hold on to win it 96-95. Here's Davis afterwards.
We're a team who takes pride in not losing 2 in a row, and we lost 2 in a row. And we for damn sure wasn't losing 3 in a row. And we got a little revenge with this team. They came in last year and beat us by 30 last time we was in this building. So we still replay those moments in our head, but we just want to be a team that, don't get comfortable with losing. And I think everybody had a great effort tonight who was able to get the win.
We knew we was coming into a hostile environment, in a hostile building, understanding, how good this team is, and we had to play some really good basketball in order to win, and we was able to win 1 possession more than they were tonight and come away with it. We got to go to another level. We sitting here with a bunch of games that we should have won or could have won, but we didn't. And whatever it is, we got to get over that hump, and that means our energy and intensity has to improve, because sometimes it just takes that to start getting things rolling.
Yeah, they've had a problem getting over the hump against the Lakers, and it's not that high a hump often. 23rd time in the history of this rivalry that a game was decided by 1 point. The Lakers have won 12 of those, including each of the last 4. Lakers coming off their first double-digit loss of the season, but got back on track, improving to 11-2 on the road. That's the best record in the NBA. They also lead the league in scoring defense away from home, and they'll tell you quickly they want it to start with their defense. Meanwhile, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown combined for 58 of the Celtics' 95 points. That's their second most in the losing effort as teammates, bested only by their loss against the Lakers last February. Let's bring in Paul Pierce now. Paul, came down to that final possession, so let's go back through that. What would you have liked to see the Celtics do in that last possession?
Well, in the last possession, I would have liked to see Kemba Walker show a little more patience. You had a hot Jason Tatum down the stretch. You had plenty of time on the clock. You didn't need to rush the ball down the court unless he was completely wide open, which Brown wasn't. And so, or you could have called a timeout. But they went, threw the ball ahead. They got a good shot from Kemba Walker. He just hasn't had his rhythm. But I would have liked to get the ball to Jason Tatum down the stretch. He was the hot guy. You got to get it to your go-to guy when the game is on the line.
So the Lakers escaped this time. They had the disaster of a fourth quarter in Detroit. Where are you on how the Lakers are performing right now?
Well, the Lakers, I'm not too worried about them. They're the champs. They're going to get everybody's best shot. And so you got to expect that AD is going to play better like he did tonight. He hasn't been playing like the Anthony Davis we saw last year. And so teams that win a championship coming back the next year, especially when you got LeBron playing at an MVP level, you don't worry too much about the bad losses they have. They're more worried about getting to the playoffs with a healthy squad.
All right, Paul Pierce, nothing but the truth.
Final play or that final section of the game, Caruso sprints down the court, and just wondering, it seems like an effort play, but there has to be a certain amount of just mental acuity there and just kind of recognition. Can you take us through what you saw in that from that perspective and kind of how big that was?
Anytime you have a turnover, you just want to have a quick twitch, try to get back and try to recover the play. And that's exactly what we did, starting with AC getting back, and then all of us just kind of formed the wall. Dennis did a great job of standing in front of Kemba, even though Kemba got to his patented shot to step back. But Dennis still got a great look. Got a great contest on his shot, and Tyson missed a layup. So we came away with a win.
Frank spoke about shortening the rotation to 9 for tonight, and that's been something he's been juggling with. You have 11 guys at least who you'd like to give more minutes for. Just your experience over the years and what it's like having the rotation like that and how that impacts guys night in, night out.
As professionals, we all just have to stay ready when our number is called. We're here for one reason only, and that's to try to win a championship, and that's what it is.
Falcon?
Hey, AD talked a little bit about sort of just not wanting to lose 3 in a row and having a little extra energy from that. In what ways do you feel like maybe that extra energy or extra desire to break the losing streak came out tonight in your guys' performance as a team?
Well, we don't want to lose 1 in a row, and then we take pride in losing 2 in a row, and we did that, and in Philly and Detroit. So we knew we was coming into a hostile environment in a hostile building, understanding how good this team is, and we had to play some really good basketball in order to win, and we was able to win 1 possession more than they were tonight and come away with it.
Yeah.
Hey, LeBron. You guys obviously every time you step on the court, you guys have a lot of talent that you put on the floor. But over the past year and 20 games, I guess this season, playing harder than the other team, wanting it, I guess, more has been a thing that's really shown through. How have you guys been able to keep that sort of like we're going to play harder than you more nights than not sort of mentality?
Because talent can only take you so far. At the end of the day, there's a lot of talented teams in this league, but it's how far you can go as far as how hard you play. How much you challenge yourself on the defensive end to try to get stops, to want to get stops, and just have that mentality. So that's just who we've been over the last year or so.
Bill?
Hey, LeBron, that group you guys started the second and fourth with THT, Caruso, Trez, and Kuz and yourself isn't one we've seen a lot before. You had a lot of success with it tonight. What do you like about that group, and why was it effective against what they were doing?
It's a high energy group. We all play with a pace, a level of energy, and we just fight off one another. And it's a team that can. We have multiple ball handlers, multiple guys that can slash and shooting. So it works well for us, and Trez just demands the paint. So it works extremely well for us.
Kyle Hightower? Kyle, I think you're on mute.
Yeah. Hey, LeBron, forgive the offbeat question a little bit, but you're in Boston right now, and next week is the Super Bowl. You gave a shout out to Tom Brady last week. Just congratulate him for making it back to another Super Bowl. What's it do for you to see a guy like him playing at the level he is at his age and do what he's doing at that high level, getting back to the pinnacle of his sport?
It doesn't do anything for me as far as what I do in my profession, but what it does, it lets me know and lets both of us know that we can still play this game at a high level, no matter how many miles, how many games, no matter how many doubters, no matter the statistics of, in our respective profession at our age, we can still dominate our sport. And also we can bring together groups that we may have not been around for a long period of time. It's just our professionalism, how we attack the sport, how we attack every single day of being a professional, of wanting to win every single day, in a practice, on the film, on the practice field, and in the games, so on and so on. So, we gravitate towards people, and people gravitate towards us because we have one common goal, and that's to win and win at the highest level.
Last 2 questions, Joe Varden.
Hey, man. What did you think seeing Tristan in a different uniform tonight?
And then, when you play Boston, that's all you see. You see green. You don't really see the person, when you play Boston. So it was no difference. But it's always good to see my brother. Love him to death. I'm extremely proud of him and the leader he's become. He's like now a vet for this team, and they're going to use his knowledge, throughout the course of this season, both on and off the floor. So I'm happy for him.
Last question, Melissa Rowland.
Hey, LeBron, I have kind of an offbeat question for you as well tonight. There's been a lot of talk, obviously, about how your game has grown from when you were 18 to 36. How would you say your leadership has grown and evolved from when you were 18 until now?
Well, I think you continue to learn. At 18, I was the leader of my high school basketball team for 4 years, or let's say 3 years, along with a couple guys. But you come into the professional league, you sit there and watch, and you become a sponge, and you see, you lead by example. You go out and you practice hard, and you try to stick your head into the film and just try to get better every single day, and just try to keep quiet because there's bets, things of that nature, and you got your coach staff who does a lot of the talking. So I was just more of a sponge, at 18, just watching, seeing. But I've always had that leadership trait, whenever it will become available to me.